Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's show, the Beautifully Bruised and CPS show. I am your host, Latrika Jones. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I'm hoping you had a great weekend, Easter weekend, Resurrection weekend. Oh my God, I know a lot have taken place, and hope you got a chance to replenish yourself and to reset, to get some good old needed rest, and be ready to start your new work week and start and jump right into Monday's motivation. That's what I'm here to do. I'm here to motivate you, to encourage you, to let you know that you're not alone. You're not in this thing by yourself. I don't care if you're dealing with a CPS case. I don't know if you're dealing with just some days are not, it's not easy. Let's be honest. Life be lifing, okay? And it does that for everybody. No one is exempt from that, but you just got to know how to go through it. I always tell my son, excuse me, that every day might not be sunshine, but it doesn't have to be a storm neither. It's all in how you perceive it. It's all in how my grandma used to always tell me, life is what you make it. And I have seen that to be true. Okay, so with that being said, welcome, welcome, welcome to Monday's Motivation. I'm hoping you enjoyed your weekend. You had a safe, sound, peaceful, restful resurrection Easter weekend. Hopefully, you just got a chance to get out and try to enjoy yourself in whatever form, shape, form, or fashion that may be. I know a lot of kids like the Easter egg hunts and things like that. So again, just I hope you were able to just take some time out for yourself, because a lot of times that's needed, right? So with that being said, I must tell you that I really think I'm just like, when you so much into um the routine of something, right? When you're in the zone, I think that's the word I'm looking for. When you're in the zone, I have literally been up on the road. I think we didn't really make it in until 1 o'clock this morning. And I think I'm still in Houston. My body is here, but I think my mind is still in Houston, because that's where I was this weekend. Got an awesome opportunity to go to church and got a chance to meet some really, really great people while I was in Houston, Texas. And I love going to Houston because, Houston is it's like a smaller California to me. It's a smaller LA, it's growing. It's really big, because it can be humid too. Don't get me wrong. So, but again, it's a great feel. It's a great town. It's a lot of different opportunities that's taking place. And I was so excited to go down there to meet with some people. And I'm not gonna lie to you. When I first went, I was like, God, I don't know about this. I was nervous and I didn't know what to expect. But I heard in my spirit, was telling me that just go. And maybe for whoever's watching today, maybe it's something that you're wrestling with within your spirit and you're not clear, you're not sure what to do. But I just want to tell you that if you're like me, if you just been giving it all you have and you've been working it and doing the best you can with what you have, sometimes God would call you to that thing and tell you just to go, just to do it, go for it, go forth, and that's what I really truly heard in my spirit. And even though I wasn't sure what was going to come out of it, I didn't know what to expect, but I do believe that obedience is better than sacrifice. And God has been too good for me not to trust and believe him now. Okay. I assure you, if I could have trusted him through everything else I've been through in life, and it has been a lot, then surely he has proven himself to be tried and true, that I can continue to keep my trust in God, because he is faithful. Okay, so whatever it looks like, whatever you're going through, I just want to encourage you today on this Monday motivation and to tell you that God still has the final answer. Please do not put a period where there should be a comma. Why? Because God is not done writing your story. The best is still yet to come. And as I'm speaking into your life, trust me, I'm also speaking into mine as well. So with that being said, I want to tell you I had an awesome, awesome time. When I got in Houston, guess what? They were so accepting. They were so welcoming. It was almost like I couldn't believe the spirit of the energy of everybody. It's like everybody want to win. Everybody, anything that you have that is something that could be possibly helpful for the kids, even for adults, anything that you're trying to bring positive into the community, to uplift people, to bring in insight, positive information. I'm not gonna lie, y'all. I was taken away. I was blown by the enthusiasm of people response and help and support. And speaking of that, I would also like to, with Attorney Davis, I just want to come on here and mention his law firm. Just think, if it wasn't for Attorney Davis, then the sponsors of the show, we couldn't be here in front of you today, giving you encouragement. Attorney Vince is a wise legal counsel, been doing it over 30 years. My God. I mean, nothing is like experience. I'm telling you, when I made it out my CPS case, it wasn't by my might, it was by Jesus' might. He gave me the strength to endure it. He gave me the strength and the wisdom and the discernment to connect with a wise legal attorney who knew what to say, who knew what to present in my CPS case with discoveries, what experience that she had. And when she brought that to the judge, guess what? My child was returned back home where he belonged years ago. Okay. And so because of that wise experience, because of that wisdom, like attorney Vince has, Attorney Davis, we're able to be here today to come in front of you. I tell you to log in. I tell you to like, subscribe, share. You never know what people are going through. You know, not only, like I say, obviously this is about helping families with CPS, right? I know personally, I've been through the system, and by the grace and mercy of God, not only did I survive the system, I overcame the system where God has trusted me to share my story with people like you, where Attorney Vince wanted me to come on and share my experience. Yeah, I think he called me something like a veteran, right? You know, you've been through it, you know personally what it's like. And I've always said it is nothing like somebody who have personally experienced what you're going through. You could tell somebody all day long, but until they have walked in your shoes, until they have felt that pain, not seeing their children, not talking to their children they want to, not knowing where their children are, who understand those tears that falls down off the side of your face. It's something about somebody that's in the fight with you. I'm sorry. That's how it was for me. When you told me, yeah, I've been through it. I know what it's like. It's a different kind of pain that you experience. So I thank God again for Attorney Vince and for this platform, even the producer Grace, you know, people taking out time out of their schedules, out of their lives to try to come and make a difference in a positive way. What I don't know, nothing that's more positive is than and bringing a family that's been divided, that's been separated back together again, where children can come back to their parents, they can come back to their grandparents, they can come back to their aunts and uncles, they can come back to their nieces and nephews. What better, oh my God, liberty is that? What better reassurance than that? It's knowing that you have brought a family back together again. What the devil has meant for evil, God has turned it for the good. I am a living witness. I am a living testimony. What the devil thought he had me and my child and keeping us separated and divided, God turned that thing around for the good. He brought us back together. He reunified our family. And guess what? What don't kill you makes you stronger. I can tell you now, our family is even stronger, me and my son, because of what we've been through, what we've survived, what we've overcame. And even my son as a kid, he said, Mama, I'm so glad you're doing the show. I'm so glad that you're speaking to these families and you're trying to encourage. Really, he said this, I kid you not, you're trying to help people, speak life into people. Because he know personally as a child going through that system. He know what it was like. They placed my son in a mental ward at 4 years old, saying he was demon possessed. And he asked me, Mom, am I demon possessed? No, you're not demon possessed. So that's why I'm saying you can't let anybody speak into your life. You have to fight. You have to fight. I excuse my French, but you have to fight like hell to get your kids back out of this broken, corrupt system. And I see this honestly as a ministry. I see this as a place where people can easily feel overwhelmed. They can feel like their life don't matter. They can feel overlooked. Like my son as a kid has asked me, Mom, am I who CPS says I am? No, you're not, son. You are a young king. You are a survivor and you are an overcomer and you are a thriver. And there is nothing that God won't let you do as long as you put your mind to it. So you have to encourage yourself. That's all I'm telling you. You really, really do. You have to encourage yourself. So Without any further said ado, I just think it's so important to thank Attorney Vince Davis, who sponsors our show, who cares enough about going out in the trenches, who cares enough about fighting for these families. CPS know a lot of time that people are not going to do the work. They're not going to stay in the fight. Now, sadly, a lot of times people give up. But unless they have a wise legal attorney like Attorney Vince that will step in the scene and bring in laws that CPS cannot go against, they can, even though they try to, they will try to violate your laws. But guess what? As parents, we have rights and we have laws. And that is what protected me and what kept me from keeping my son in the system. When my attorney brought on credible evidence, it showed that what CPS was doing was against the law. And guess what? The judge ordered my child and ordered CPS to return my child out of CPS custody back home immediately. And again, he's been home ever since for years. It's because of wise legal attorney like someone like Attorney Vince. So I advise you, if you are going through a CPS case or if you know someone that is, please give Attorney Vince a call, because it would definitely be worth your time and, most importantly, worth your children's life, making sure they're out of this corrupt black hole of CPS. Always say, I'm only speaking to the CPS workers who lack integrity, are only in it for money, power, and politics. Like I sat in that courtroom, y'all, for years. I sat in many hearings, and I cared so much. I didn't only just come to my hearing. Sometimes I would stay after my hearing is over just to hear what other hearings was about. Go before my hearing, my case started, just to hear what other hearings was about. And you know what I saw in those cases? A lot of times the people that were mostly in those CPS investigations and had those CPS cases, they were people that were minorities. They were people who I do believe CPS felt that they lacked resources and education. Okay, I do believe in even being disabled. I want to add that one as well. If they feel like maybe you are disabled or your child is disabled, they feel like, again, you lack the appropriate resources, that you lack the knowledge, the wisdom of getting a wise legal attorney who knows CPS laws, who's aggressive and who's willing to fight for you and do the work that it takes to bring your child back home with you together once again. Okay, so again, they prey, and I don't mean P-R-A-Y, I mean P-R-E-Y. They prey on those type of people they feel that lacks those type of resources. Why? Because they can get in and railroad you and end up taking your kids because you're not knowing what all that you're getting ready to step into. And I assure you that CPS, by me going through CPS, fighting CPS, surviving CPS, and have overcame CPS, it is not what you think it is. It is a giant like you've never experienced. And it pays you to get wise legal counsel like Attorney Vince to fight for you, because don't do this alone. Learn from my mistakes. I started out thinking I could represent myself, and I realized I was in over my head. I had no idea what CPS was doing to me. They have their own way of doing things, and it can be very secretive. It can be very sneaky, and it can be very conniving. And it is something that you're not ready to handle alone. Trust me, learn from my mistakes. I immediately hired legal representation to help fight that fight. God put attorneys in positions for a reason, and doctors and teachers and so forth, because they have went to school to get the knowledge, the wisdom, and the experience to know how to fight this thing like we don't. So again, I just highly recommend, if you are someone that is a victim to CPS, if you are someone you know that's going through CPS, please share this video. Please tune in to Attorney Vince. He has his own shows, and this is a wise legal attorney that's giving out advice to help you. Come on, share your story, share what you're going through. Your children are worth it, and I know you know that, and that's the reason why you be tuning in. That's the reason why you doing the work, by engaging and listening and making comments. Whether you're listening to the live shows or you go back and you rewatch the replays of the show, you're showing that you're taking the initiative to learn what you need to know to fight CPS. And again, I want to say everybody in CPS are not all bad. I'm only speaking to the workers that work for CPS who lack integrity, who do not really have the right intentions of bringing you and your children reunified back together. They're using their some of the, I noticed the caseworkers will use, they throw their power around. They think they're superior. They think they may be better than you, and they look down on you. But guess what? The devil is a liar. That's why I cannot say enough. Please get wise legal counsel. It worked for me, and my child was returned back home where he belonged due to the mercy and grace of God. He never left my side, and he told me was to get wise legal counsel. He told me what to do, to stay in the fight. Don't give up. Don't quit. Keep going. And again, I can tell you that my story was an overcoming story. CPS staff literally told me as we was walking out the court that day, you overcame. And I couldn't do nothing but say, you're absolutely right. And you know why I overcame? Because Jesus overcame the world. And that same power in Jesus is the same power He allowed me to have. And that's the same power I'm in front of you talking to you today to tell you that you can overcome. Just do the work. Hire a wise legal counsel. Make the phone calls. Call in for the consultation. It'll be worth it for you and your children in the long run. Trust me, I am a living witness. When your children are back home with you again, where you can go in somewhere and sit down and put your feet up and take a break, you're gonna really, trust me, take that break. So again, without any further ado, I also like to acknowledge this is April 1st, right? This is Autism Awareness Month. This is a month that a lot of children, like I just mentioned previously, CPS, I do believe that they prey on children that's disabled. They prey on parents that's even disabled because they feel why? You're going to lack the necessary resources to get that wise attorney to help fight for you and your children to be returned. They feel like you maybe not educated, or you maybe not, wise enough to know these things, and you lack these resources. So again, that's a benefit. And I thank God for Attorney Vince for having the heart and the character, the right heart posture, and the producer Grace to bring this show on, to bring light to people. People that's in darkness, they feel down, they feel depressed, they feel like they don't know what to do. This show gives you life. This show is encouraging you that, hey, you're not alone. There is help available. Even my son, he's on the autism spectrum, and he've even said, somebody that have went through it said, Mama, I'm glad y'all do this show to help families and help kids like I once was in that broken system. And so now I'm out, and we know what it's like to go through it. And we also know by the grace and mercy of God what it's like to come out. And that's why I'm on here today, to encourage you, to tell you that you can also come out by doing the necessary things that it's going to take, which is doing what you're supposed to do as a parent and hiring wise legal counsel. Why? Because you have rights. Trust me, you do. CPS probably don't want you to know your rights, and that's why we have this show to help you be more aware of your rights by watching Attorney Vince, a wise legal counsel that fights CPS, and he knows what to do and how to help you bring your children back home where they belong. Okay, so with that being said, again, I am so excited to honor Autism Awareness Month. This is a month where a lot of children that deals, even adults that deals with autism. Autism is on the spectrum, right? It comes in many shapes, forms, and different colors. Some people children may not be verbal with autism. Some may be. It may be speech, or it may be, sounds, sensories, triggers. It's different sides of the spectrum. So this month, I think it is so important to honor these children, because again, a lot of these kids are overlooked. A lot of these people, adults, are overlooked. They're thinking that they're not fit, or something wrong with them. No, I've actually realized with my own child that's on the spectrum, they're gifted and talented in their own way. They just process differently. If you realize, a lot of these children are really geniuses in their own rights. A lot of them, sometimes my son can do geometry and he's 11 years old, and I'm nearly 50 and I can't. So I just want to give you an example, okay? And don't judge a book by its cover. Don't hear that title and think, oh, okay, this child must not be intellectually intelligent, or something slow. Absolutely not. From my experience and doing research and talking to other parents and caregivers who have children with autism, they also realize that how gifted these children are as well. It's just a certain way they process. It's a certain way things, they are brilliant within their own right. So that was the reason why I was actually in Houston. I was sharing my story, trying to bring more awareness to autism, to let people know. Since this is April, right? April 1st, this is the month that we're celebrating autism awareness. And it's so much, I love for these children to be acknowledged and to just bring awareness because knowledge is power, right? Transparency transforms. I say that all the time. A lot of people really just don't know. And what better way than to teach them is to bring on information to help them understand what's really taking place so they'll know how to move forward, moving on with kids that has autism. There are grown-ups that's living with autism. It's all over the world. It's not just only limited in one particular area. 9 times out of 10, you know somebody, if it's not yourself, who deals with autism. So I just like to share with that. Again, April 1st, this is Autism Awareness Month. The United Nations General Assembly declared April 2nd as a WAAD in 2007 to raise awareness about autism, okay, as a global health priority. That's how important this is. The day also highlights the need to improve the quality of life for people with autism so they can live a meaningful, enjoyable life. Okay. And again, that is so important for them to be recognized because I notice a lot of time it seems like people that may have some type of disability or dealing with some type of, autism or special needs or whatever the case may be, that these children or people or grown-ups, like I say, even easily go overlooked and misunderstood. So this month we're going to acknowledge them. Autism also represents the color blue. So if you see people on with the color blue like I'm wearing today, it is showing that I am representing autism. The symbol butterflies as well is another symbol for autism. So with that being said, I just thought I would like to share, if you're like me, I'm visual. I like to see things a lot of times. And I just want to share some footage of me going to Houston and meeting these great people that is pushing the narrative of getting more awareness out for autism spectrum. So Grace, if you don't mind, I would love to show that video.
You thought it was gonna break you, but I sent it to make you. I hear the Lord say, you thought it was time then, but I needed to process you. It's time now, it's time now, it's time now, it's time now. I hear the Lord say, I'm so proud of you. You made it, you made it, you made it, you made it. You made it, you made it, you made it, you made
Always help
it.
people.
You made it, you made it.
That's right.
You thought it was
Always.
gonna break you, but I sent it to
I've
make you.
seen it. I never seen you.
You don't go wrong doing that.
That's right. That's right.
Somebody might pass me up and don't have me. Somebody coming right along and double it.
That's right. That's
I
right.
mean, they kind of pay you to treat everybody
And
right.
pay you to treat everybody right.
Was my wise grandmother who lived to be 106 years, Rosalie Jones. And I didn't think no better way but to end that video just by her saying, it pays you to treat everybody right. It does. It does. And I've realized, even sharing some great times this weekend with some great people in Houston, that sometimes it seemed like God strongest soldiers are the ones that get abused and looked over the most. And what better way to reference that than to families that's dealing with CPS? The parents that's really doing the work. Some parents have been on drugs, or maybe not the best of choices, but they've got off, they became clean to get back on track to get their kids back. I've heard so many different stories from speaking to parents that have been victims to that. I've seen people actually doing the work, living, doing everything within their means and their capacity. And for some reason, CPS still found them unfit to get their children back. It was actually a recent movie, and I'm sorry, I can't think of the name of it, but it was a mom a mom that loved her daughter. It's a recent Netflix movie that I think it aired last year, but it's still being shown on Netflix. It's a really y'all great movie. It shows you what it's like a parent that loves their children. The parent really was just misunderstood by CPS. They really just was made up some lies that wasn't true, and CPS refused to, for some reason, give this parent a chance. And she went through so much agony. Sadly, I don't want to tell you the story, but it overtook her life, and she just it became too much. And I always know everybody, we're all uniquely made. We all may have similar things that we go through, but we can't all handle the same thing, right? My mom used to tell me, Trika, what I eat don't make you full, vice versa. We all can't handle the same thing. So what you might can handle, I might very can't. So we all should be treated differently. We all, like my grandmother said, it pays to treat people right. You can rest at night when you know that you've done all you can do, when you've done all you can just to stand. It's a peace that comes with that. And so that's why I continuously try to call out to people that works for CPS who lacks integrity, that if you're not doing it out of integrity, if you're not doing it out of the right heart posture, please remove yourself, because these kids matter, these parents matter, and you can come in and change the trajectory for the rest of these children's life. And a lot of times, sadly, those kids are permanently raised in CPS custody. Statistics show a child is normally better off with their biological family. Just CPS should provide the necessary resources. If they feel that they're lacking something, just provide them what they need with those resources versus just uprooting those kids and placing them in God knows where. Okay. I think that really needs to be implemented, and that should be law. And I'm praying one day I live to see it be that. Okay. So with that being said, I just want to share that it pays to treat everybody right, because you never know before it's all said and done who you're going to need. Whether it's somebody for CPS that's trying to do things to hurt these families, you got to be careful, because you reap what you sow. You reap what you sow. The same thing you're trying to do to somebody else, you look up, they'll be doing to you or your children. So like my grandmother said, I'm going to reiterate that. It pays to treat people right, especially people that are really trying to do the work. They're really going out their way to make a difference. And I must shout out, when I was in Houston, when I met Ryan, Hardly Initiated. He's the podcast show, and it show, I don't know if you watch it or not, but it's a great show that talks about a lot of different stories pertaining to relationships. He was such a sweetheart, such a kind spirit, someone you could tell he really cares about people, and he really made me feel welcome. So I thank God for an opportunity to meet him. I also met some other great people. Pastor Davis, went to a great church, went to two great churches. I met Regine, I met Misha. These are just some people just came up to me out of nowhere. Just really, I seen their heart, that they really care about helping people, speaking life into people, encouraging people, share some great stories. I mean, really, I met some truly gems in Houston. I kid you not. And it was so refreshing. So I thank God for these people, and I pray God to continue to bless these people that's trying to make a difference in people's life, people that's trying to give people hope, people that's giving people encouragement, that's bringing necessary information to make you better, right? Like this show, Attorney Vince Davis, he has this platform that's available to you 24/7, where you can log on and speak to somebody or hear some type of encouragement words to keep you going. Because I know with me, when I was dealing with CPS, sometimes it was in those quiet moments. Sometimes it was in those moments of isolation where I just needed to hear a word to tell me, you can make it. This is not your final destination. There is help. There is hope. You will make it out of this. Because if you're not careful, if you get to yourself, or you surround yourself with the wrong people, the wrong voices, that will begin to start playing in your mind. That'll begin to start making you doubt yourself. That will begin to make you feel like depressed, like, am I gonna make it out of this? Am I gonna get my kids back? Am I not a good parent? The devil does not play fair. The devil comes to kill, steal, and destroy. And if you're not a good one, the devil get right up next to you, right up under you, and start speaking that toxic, negative language into your ear gauges. And you look up, you get down, you get depressed. And sometimes if you're not careful, you'll get so low and down and out, you can't get back up. So you want to make sure you stay plugged into shows like this, the Beautifully Bruised and CPS show. Attorney Vince Davis, who sponsors this show, the reason why we're here, to bring you wise legal advice. Call in for that 30-minute consultation. You never know, that phone call can change the rest of your life. I do agree, dealing with a CPS case, if not the most important, it is definitely one of the most important cases you will ever have in your entire life. Why? Because it's dealing with the destiny of your child or your children, where they're going to live the rest of their lives, who's going to be pouring into them, who are they going to be watching to grow up to be. So it's so important that you do the work. And if by you, when I say doing that work, I mean calling into attorney Vince, making that consultation phone call, sharing what you're going through, because you'll be surprised sometimes things out of the right posture. If they feel you don't know any better, guess what? They will get over on you. They will go ahead and turn that story around, because they know you don't have a wise legal counsel that's challenging what they're doing. You don't have nobody that's fighting for you, that know the laws, that knows how to go against them. So a lot of times, again, I cannot emphasize enough, knowledge is power. Okay, if you have legal representation, I assure you, I am a living witness, I am living proof. Once I hired that wise legal attorney, my case turned completely back around. Where CPS thought they was in a winning seat, they looked up where they was in the surrendering seat, where they had to get my child back. Once my attorney stepped on the scene, brought in discoveries, brought on laws that CPS was doing that was going against the laws, where CPS could no longer use what they was trying to use to get over on me with. So again, it's a sacrifice, legal counsel, but I know you gotta know that your children are worth it. Okay, some things you sacrifice. So with that said, with that, come on here to encourage you, to let you know to don't quit, to please keep God first. Don't put a period where there should be a comma, because sometimes too, God works in mysterious ways. Okay, sometimes God can just be testing you to see, are you willing to do the work? Are you willing to put him first? Are you willing to pass the test? Okay, sometimes he's just checking you out to see, can I trust my child to go through the storm, and can he trust, or can she trust me to bring him out? Okay, I'm telling you, God works in mysterious ways. But the good news is there is nothing too hard for God. Nothing is impossible that God cannot do. Okay, God can do the impossible, God can do the unthinkable. So yes, CPS is nothing to God. Okay, that's why it pays to put God first in your life. It pays for you to do the work, and it pays for you to hire a wise legal attorney like Attorney Vince. Call in and get that 30-minute consultation, because guess what? You might receive some information that you've never heard before. You might receive some news that can help you with your case. So it's worth it to get your kids back home where they belong. So with that being said, thank you so much for tuning in today. This month, I will be talking about Autism Awareness Month. Okay, I will be bringing on some different families that have children that is autistic, on the autism spectrum, and just sharing their story, their experiences, because I think of enough of us come together for a greater cause, which is our children. Why? Because children are the future. Okay, so by us coming on, sharing our stories, our truth, what we're going through, you'll be surprised. Somebody else can be going through that very same that you're going through, or maybe not even worse. And you can be encouraging them by encouraging yourself and sharing your story. So with that being said, I always say, please continue to keep God first. Please don't never, ever, ever, ever give up fighting for your children. They love you. They are worth the fight. They are worth the sacrifice. They are worth you calling in for that 30-minute consultation with Attorney Vince to get the necessary information that you need that can help you get your kids back. Okay. I know when I was in those shoes, there wasn't nothing I wouldn't do to get somebody to help me get my kids back. And that's exactly what happened once I reached out, once I did the work, once I took it serious, and I got an attorney that helped me, that brought in what was needed to fight CPS. Because as parents, we have laws, and you want to make sure that your laws are being protected by having wise legal counsel like Attorney Vince to represent you. Okay. So I just want to encourage you. I want to tell you, don't never ever give up fighting for your kids, or your legacy. You know, in life, even right now, sometimes it seems like all while the worst of times can be going on. But if you look at your life and look back, some of the best of times are going on all at the same time. So I hope that encourage you. Don't let nothing come and steal your joy today. Keep your peace, protect your peace, like, share, subscribe this channel with somebody. You never know who's going through CPS. More people are going through it than what you would imagine. Trust me, they are. Please comment, share your stories. Others would like to know, because also while you're helping share and get information to help you with your kids to be returned back home, you're also helping others to get their children returned back home as well. It takes a village to raise a child. Okay. So let's all stay in this fight together until our babies are back home where they belong. Keep God first. Don't ever give up fighting for your children. I am your host, Latrika Jones. Have a blessed day until our next show. Thank you for watching.